As some, most or all of you can see, things are heating up on all levels now. Threats here, threats there, as they lose their control, wealth, asset bases and also credibility. Of course, this week they lashed out at Kim, myself and the Trust. It's what they do, blame someone else or something else. The problem is their own arrogance and lack of real knowledge of how this planet and the system works is the real issue. They never thought we would work it out, then counteract it and then attack it to the levels it's at now, and they are completely stunned. We still have much work to do, as some of the questions have alluded to, but you would be staggered, as I mentioned earlier, at the heads of state and heads of countries know so very little of how the world really works, be it in finance, social understanding, their standing, laws or the control system. They literally know next to nothing. Not all their fault, I might add, but you see, that is how the system worked. A system that was designed to solely harvest us and this planet of all its resources and then destroy it, which they have done, including the Mantids, to many other worlds, but not this one. Now, people often speak of the event or events and ask, when's it happening? My answer is, which event? And isn't it the case that many events have already happened? If you think not, then you've just not connected the dots enough, which is understandable given the amount of bullshittery all over the internet. But here's a reminder. Events that have already taken place. 1. We're not dead. We should have all been gone by 2012. 2. Kim took over the Trust and designated all of it for the benefit of the countries and its people and not the clowns. 3. The peace treaty ended 16,500 years of martial law. That also ended the shipping war and law more commonly known as Admiralty law, or better known as maritime law, in 2016. Event 4. The Draco left in 2015, except a few minions. More on them later. 5. The parents, human 1.0, we are 2.0, went from 21 down to 2. Both are insane, neither are here anymore, and only have a VI projection of themselves in here, virtual intelligence, and one of them is known as the Red Queen. Some of you may have met her in the dream time. Unpleasant little effer, in my opinion. The next layer of the system, the Covens, Event 6, collapsed from 13 down to 2, and we are unsure at this point whether that 2 is now down to 0. Event 7, the Illuminati as it's known, no longer exists. It is now broken up into 5 factions. The Jesuits, the Asians, the Zionists, the Nazis and the Secret Society. All are fighting each other and also infighting in their own faction. Event 8. The Rothschilds, who support all 5 factions, have this year alone had to fire sale a number of their properties, sold most of their stocks off this year, lost control of the Crown, lost control of Washington DC and many other regions. They also lost control of their mercenaries, as they are refusing to take on Rothschild's hit squad tasks now. Their alleged quantum system they rolled out crashed and burned on its first attempt. A top Rothschild is in big, serious health trouble, I'm hearing. Not confirmed yet. Event 9. Soul traps, memory wipes and forced reincarnation ended. Event 10. The Saturn Moon Matrix and the Saturn entity, Set-An, rendered obsolete. Event 11. CERN, also rendered obsolete in August of 2015. Event 12. The psychotic AI, built by the Mantids, ran by the Greys, rendered obsolete. Event 13. The matrix, the veil, or the simulation also rendered obsolete, although only remnants in our memory loss keep it real. In reality, it's not. Event 14, along with 185 minions, the head of the snake, Marduk, was taken out permanently following a request by us to remove him, which was sent to the council. The council agreed, and we removed him permanently, the head of the snake, in late 2016. That was a big loss to them, as only he knew the full system, including the financial system and how it all worked. Event 15. Kim and the trust took over the whole banking system and has blocked them all from accessing it. Despite numerous attempts at hacking, usually one day before the mythical RV, all of them failed. Kim has now proven to all and sundry only she has the codes that work, only she can release the trust funds, only she has the assets to support the release. She has released some funds to some countries, but clowns are all blocking all attempts of funds reaching America currently, as this country is under financial assassination order by the Rothschilds, the Dragon Groups, SSP and others. Event 16. Project Bluebeam was due to be released in the past 2 years. It failed. That would have caused mayhem. What was supposed to be released in 2017, global biological extinction weapons, rendered obsolete or failed. Event 18. World War III, which was designated to start in 1990 and has repeatedly failed ever since. Event 19. The collection of all countries' in-ground resources to go to the UN, all future in-ground resources, I might add, failed. Event 20. Kim took over the UN, stripped their assets they had stolen, and gave them all back to the countries to whom it belonged. Event 21. The alternative media came out of the dark shadow cast as conspiracy theorists and nutters, as most so-called conspiracies are now in the public eye and are based in fact. This despite alternative media being a fraction of what it once was. The few left carried the can, the co-opted and the agency-paid and coven-paid shills laid bare by this show and also Randy Morgan's. Event 22. Portal people, aka mainstream media, trashed into almost oblivion, now considered by many as fake news. Event 23. Churches laid bare for what they really are, a total sham. That was an initial experiment played on the people. All religions are part of that experiment to take you away from who and what you are and make you forget source. Pedos in the church exposed. Financial skullduggery in the church exposed. Heinous slayings of the people's teachers and their offspring. Slaying of seers, visionaries and psychics all burnt at the stake exposed. The church created war for their sacrifices to their so-called gods that killed multi-millions. Their satanic behaviours and horrific rituals also exposed. Event 24. Politicians and stars, or so-called stars, exposed for fraud, sexual misconduct, cult practice, satanic behaviours, and ritual and sacrifice abuse. Ritual abuse and sacrifice. Event 25. The GMO kings, Monsanto, yes I said it right, crashed and burned. Event 26. Chinese elders proven fake. Despite various detailed attempts to seek them out, no one on this planet knows who they are for good reason. They don't exist. Event 27. No Nibiru, no fake asteroids hitting us, no RVs, no GCRs, NASARAs, GESARAs, OPPT, ZIMs, DONGs, DINARs and cryptocurrencies all rendered fake or obsolete. Event 28, the IMF and the World Bank exposed as financial terrorists, and other organisations, major ones, will follow that description and will be dealt with. Event 29, charities and fake foundations exposed for money laundering, trafficking for sexual and labour purposes, child trafficking for labour, sexual abuse, adrenochrome and ritual sacrifice. Event 30, we made peace with many of the non-terrestrials here, and work continues on that front. Now, the last event for tonight is ongoing, but never forget how far you have come as a person or a group. You've all learned the truth to varying degrees of learning, unravelled many of the lies, unveiled many of the masks, and carried on despite threats, ridicule and anger directed at you from so-called friends, family and loved ones. Many have learned how to be more compassionate, more caring, more sharing, many now speaking of we and us and less of me and I. Many learned, in THI anyway, how to defend yourselves via shielding, learned how to live and love life again, learned personal responsibility and perspective. Various people have quit drugs, quit alcohol, quit pharmaceuticals and stopped suicides. They're all events in and of themselves. Now all these are events bigger than you thought, and now it's all being laid out for all to see tonight. Perhaps it will give you all the time to reconsider, when is the event happening? Because the answer is most of it already has. We have much to look forward to as we strip bare the service to self clowns, the special ones, the bloodline families and their minions who have consumed our energy and souls in vast quantities, the psychopaths intent on war and destruction. We have an opportunity to create a world in our image, not the Lord and his band of reptilians, but in our image, our way and our path. One that doesn't require harvesting us or killing anyone. One that doesn't require overthrowing governments, as the reality is they know nothing of what's gone on or going on. They're just learning. A world that doesn't require spying on everyone. A world that doesn't require starving 40% of the people. A world that doesn't have 1.1 billion people that lack access to safe drinking water, or 2.6 billion people that lack adequate sanitation. A third, a world that doesn't require killing 47,000 children per day. Yes, you heard that right. A world that doesn't require millions living in poverty, where 3 billion on this planet live on less than $2.50 per day. Yes, I did say per day. Or 1.3 billion live on less than $1.25 per day. Or the 1 billion children living in poverty around the world, while death and destruction psychopaths spend 1.7 trillion per year globally on military and weaponry. A world that doesn't require 1.2 billion who still are living in 2018 without electricity. A world that doesn't require fighting over resources, land or control. It requires none of that. That was their system, not ours. Everyone has a moral and outright duty to fight, strive and work hard to create that better world for us all. An obligation to protect and serve humanity. An obligation to protect the children and lay the foundations for our journey from a childlike backward species, requiring others to look after us, to a peaceful spacefaring race of which we can be deemed a proud and worthy adult species. Peace, prosperity and freedom are not something you wish for. You have forgotten you have the ability to create it, not wish for it. And it's up to each and every one of you to create that reality. You wanted events, you've already had them. Now go out and be a part of creating our new world. This has been the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams. United we stand, divided we fall. Bye for now.